Kings of Karma. As the title suggests, I'm just going to talk about, from my opinion, how we can go about building, creating, consciously creating our masterpiece extraordinary life. I think every man has some idea that this is what he would like to do, to be able to be a master of his own destiny, to be the creator of his own life. When I reflect on this topic in my own life, I come to one foundation that for me is sort of like the foundation. It's the keystone of all my capacity and every man's capacity to create the life that he wants on his terms. I start off this sort of conversation with you and I invite you into a bit of an experience. No, you go to let's say a function, a dinner party. There's about 100 people in this room. You've never met any of them before. But you go with the intention of having a really good time. Your only intention is you're going to go in, have a good, fun time. Just that at the end of that experience, you're going to look back and say, well, that was a really good evening. Very satisfying, very fulfilling. So you go in, and the first person you meet, just happen to bump into, he turns to you and a little bit rude. You know, you say one comment about the work you do and said, well, that's crap. You're clearly unable to do that. Imagine you even think that you're able to do that. Yeah, good man. But you remind yourself, you're there to have a good evening. So, you know, you don't get into too much of a discussion. You just say, okay, you know, thank you for your feedback, and you walk on. And the next person you meet, well, they're a step up from that first person, but they're not the bee's knees either. You know, they're okay. They're very quiet, and a little bit the energy is down, and they're not bubbling with enthusiasm. And I mean, you could stay there, but you know, you're there to have a really, really fantastic evening, really beautiful experience. So, you know, with that in mind, you sort of think, this conversation doesn't match with my intentions. So you move on, and it could be one or two or three more people later. But eventually you meet a person and they're really engaging. They're very supportive of what you say. Like they'll challenge you on certain aspects, but it's really stimulating conversation. Everything, every input they give to the conversation, like you're at home with, and you appreciate, and they appreciate you, and you appreciate them, and it's very easy. It's just a very beautiful conversation. So in essence, you find that they are very good company for you, for your attention, for helping you. You know, their company serves you powerfully to meet your intention of having a wonderful, unforgettable evening. So what has this all got to do with creating an extraordinary life? You see, that example, most people that I introduce that to in coaching or in groups, nearly everybody can go, yeah, well, I mean, if you meet a jackass, why would you stay in the company of a jackass? You know, I mean, if that person is putting you down, if they're criticizing you, you know, it doesn't make sense. Move on. And the other person that's sort of okay, but a little bit boring, a little bit just, you know, whatever, you know, even there, you don't have to stay there. I mean, they'll find, move on. It doesn't serve your intention. And so looking for really, really good company, somebody that is stimulating, feels really good to be around. It just makes sense. It's like everybody in the room can get this point very clearly. I don't know, has it hit home for you? You know, are you the same? Now, this is a metaphor that I use for how we can apply to our own thinking. This is where, you know, the common sense that's so clear when we walk into the hypothetical room, but when we move into the room, the environment of our mind, that's where, for the vast majority of men on the planet, the clarity, the common sense so often gets lost. Because Our intention, the intention of every man is to be happy. No matter what the story is going on, the intention is to be happy, to be healthy. You know, any man that sort of slows down and sort of speaks clearly, what do you want to create? You don't want to create unhappiness. You don't want to create depression. You don't want to create confusion. You don't want to create a lack of abundance. You don't want to create a shortened lifestyle because of poor health. You know, you don't want to create that stuff. So, you know, the sane sort of man has done any bit of reflection, wants to be happy, wants to be healthy in general, and then create life on his terms and feel free. Okay, are you with me? Now, this all hinges, and this is why I say it's the foundation of creating an extraordinary life. But my suggestion is we got to get as picky, as consciously choosy with the company that we choose to pay attention with, the company of the thoughts of our mind. But like the first guy that I said hypothetically that we met in that room, I mean, if you have self-critical thoughts, well, you're not able. Just, why are you even considering going for that? Like, I mean, oh my God, you're in this position. I mean, you're in this top position, but like you feel like an imposter. Like, I mean, everybody around you, they seem so competent, so brilliant, but look at you. I mean, you're nowhere near being up to those. You're fat. You're just not good enough. You're not enough. You're never enough. Okay? There's a whole entire cascade of thoughts that we can have. But just because we think it doesn't mean we are it. We are not our thinking. Don't take my word for it. Go through all the literature of all the psychology literature that's out there, all the mystical teachers in the past and present. They're saying pretty much the same story. We are not our thinking. So just because you have a thought, and it might be a self-critical thought, it might be a thought that puts you down, it's just like the company in a room. You don't have to hang around it. You don't have to go with a thought that says, well, you're not able, and go, well, what else do you have to tell me, thought? Well, like you fucked up like 40 times. Oh, well, tell me more. Do you remember the divorce? Do you remember when your wife went off with that other guy? Oh, yeah, well, tell me more. Well, do you remember when your dad used to put you down? Well, tell me more. Do you remember when you were a boy and you were bullied? Well, tell me more. I fucking feel like shit. Guys, I'm being sort of comical. I'm being a bit dramatic. This is what we end up doing. The first thought is not the issue. Having a thought that sort of seems to put you down in your own head is no issue. Everybody has those thoughts. The only time it becomes an issue is when we follow up with another thought. We sort of say, well, you know what, mind? I didn't know it felt like crap, but here, tell me more. Open the floodgates. And once we let a second thought, a third thought, a fourth thought in, now there's a whole emotional tsunami of force driving it on, and try and stop it at that point. So you want to create an extraordinary life. I'm making an assumption. If you're listening to this, you do. Start getting picky with the company you choose consciously to spend time with in your mind. If a thought comes and it doesn't feel good, choose different company. You don't have to tell it to piss off. You don't have to trap it. You don't have to go against it. Just like in the room of that hotel, just go to a different thought. Move on. And the next thought, well, it feels okay, it feels grand, it's nothing so exceptional. Well, then just be picky. Go to the thought that just has you feeling really brilliant, really amazing. And then unleash the floodgates. Go with that thought and say, yeah, tell me more, but I want to know more and I want to know more. I'm going to stay in your company. And do you know what? You feel so good to me, thought. I want to visit you tomorrow. And I want to keep on with this conversation with you. You're a really nice company. I like that. The foundation to creating an extraordinary life, gentlemen, we all know this, but just to put it into practice, is consciously choosing the company that we choose to stay with in our mind. Thoughts that feel brilliant, stay in company with them. It's not a case of, is the thought true or is it not? It's a case of asking, does that thought serve me? And if it serves you and it feels good, well, consciously spend more time with that thought. And then more thoughts, you'll get good at this. You'll feel good. You'll notice other thoughts that feel good on other topics in your life. Spend more time with them. Spend less time with the thoughts that make you feel bad. Guys, there's no more powerful foundation for creating an extraordinary life that you are so worthy of living. To my mind, anyway. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but from my observation in life, this works. Have a super day. Let me know how this hits home, if it hits home, if it's relevant. Enjoy an extraordinary day today, guys. Talk soon. Bye bye. This button, like the last video, just won't go X. Sorry guys, don't mind me. Video is finished. This just won't cancel.